the first interview after Budget 2026. Let's listen into that exclusive interaction.
Crores being invested in infrastructure, and the speed at which we are developing infrastructure has become a surprise for the entire world today. If one looks carefully at this budget, it's very holistic, very forward-looking, preparing 140 crore Indians to speed up our journey towards Viksit Bharat.
Let me ask you about one major measure that has been taken by the Commerce Ministry, and that is for SEZs, one-time relief for manufacturing units in SEZs to sell a limited portion of their output in domestic markets at concessional rates. This was important because of the strain on manufacturers right now. Could you give us the contours of this scheme?
Broadly, the idea is that existing units in SEZs are today required to pay duty as if the goods are being imported into India if they supply to the domestic market. Many of them have surplus capacities, and the same goods are being imported duty-free from other geographies. The idea is that these existing units can use their surplus capacity and some proportion of their production, obviously less than what they are exporting, may be allowed to be sold in the domestic market in such manner that it doesn't hurt other domestic manufacturers. So we equalize or make a common level playing field for both by reducing the duty burden on the SEZ unit, but reduce it to such an extent that they are at the same level as other domestic manufacturers.
So what will be the duty level? What sectors will
It
it
will
apply to?
depend on sector to sector. There would be some sectors where we may not give this benefit, things like refining crude, petrol and diesel. Probably there it may not be proper to allow this. It may be to a big disadvantage to the other refiners. So it will have to be seen sectorally, and we will have to calibrate the approach so that SEZs also benefit, SEZ units get an opportunity to serve Indian needs, and we save foreign exchange.
Right. There's been a lot of focus also on labor-intensive exports from India, textiles, leather, footwear, especially rationalizing customs duty on the import costs.
That's right.
Give us a sense of the targeted measures that you've taken and the kind of sectors you want to support with the budget.
Well, if you look at the budget, it is looking at labor-intensive sectors, it is looking at technology-intensive sectors, it is looking at traditional sectors, it is looking at futuristic sectors. I mean, the expanse is phenomenal. Textiles. It adds new textile parks, mega parks. At the same time, the thrust is on man-made textiles, because 2/3 of global trade today is on man-made textiles. It gives a thrust to the leather industry and sports goods and sportswear and sports shoes. Idea being that there's a large market out there which we can service very well because we have low labor costs. Marine fishing, it opens up avenues in the EEZ so that we can expand our marine exports also. It will also help us provide nutritious foodstuff for our domestic consumption. Animal husbandry and poultry has also been given a thrust. So wherever there is farmer or animal husbandry or fishery involved, we continue to support them to increase their incomes. All labor-oriented sectors, and for that matter, infrastructure also is a highly labor-intensive sector, are being given a thrust. Look at the data centers. Duty tax-free until 2047, 22 years from now. Can you imagine the huge thrust that this will give foreign companies who wish to invest in India to set up data centers and provide cloud services internationally? And look at the benefits for India. We get the material, we get investment into India. We sell material for construction, provide jobs to people to set up these data centers in terms of the infrastructure required. It needs tons and lots of power and lots of power redundancy. So it will promote investment in energy sector. By and large, these data centers prefer renewable energy. So it'll give a thrust for nuclear energy, for green hydrogen, green ammonia. It'll give a thrust for solar, hydro, battery storage, pump storage. It opens up avenues in a very holistic way, all of which lead to jobs, all of it lead to investment, all of it lead to economic activity, taxes. So the budget, I find, is an economically and fundamentally very strong budget, which gives an impetus to our growth story.
Are there certain sectors which are going to get more relief in the coming days, maybe leather for that matter?
We are looking at a scheme which may help to promote the leather industry in a big way, and are trying to draw up the contours of that.
On services exports, there was a substantial amount of time spent by the finance minister on boosting the services industry, including the IT industry. How does this safeguard the interests of our services sector, services exports?
We have tried to simplify processes and improvise on the safe harbor rules on most of the services, also clubbing all the IT-related services into one. There's a committee going to be set up to look at the services sector holistically, because we find that's an area of strength of our country. It's an area where we are growing already very rapidly, and we see tremendous potential to increase our share in global trade and services to at least 10% of the global trade. And by the way, that is a big amount. Just the European Union alone, with which we've opened up 144 services subsectors through the free trade agreement, imports 2.7 or 2.8 trillion worth of services every year. Currently, we export only 46 billion. If we can target at 10% over there, we're looking at nearly a $270 to $300 billion services export to European Union. That's the potential. So I think this is a aspiration budget which meets the aspirationals of New India, which meets the aspirations of Young India, which provides wings to the dreams of New India.
Speaking about the FTA with the European Union, give us a sense of how this is going to safeguard our export growth story, and what kind of growth numbers do you expect once this FTA comes into effect, and possibly even a timeline if you could share with us. Your colleague, your counterpart, Maros Sefcovic, said hopefully early next year.
Probably even earlier. Subsequent to that, we've had discussions at the highest level. We are looking at speeding up the legal scrub. We are looking at using artificial intelligence to get us the first cut of the 24 languages it needs to be translated into. And then, of course, the human beings can look at it. We are looking at the European Parliament fast-tracking approval, particularly since this is one agreement where no sensitive sector has been touched. So unlike the other agreement, Mercosur agreement, which from 19 to 26 took 6 years to approve, in this sector, all the 27 member states have welcomed it and are actually requesting that this should be fast-tracked. The German Chancellor yesterday said that this agreement, the India FTA, should be fast-tracked and implemented at the earliest.
So how much do you expect it to add to our growth story?
Our guess estimate or first cut estimate, both on the European side and Indian side, reflects that we should be able to double our bilateral trade in the next 5 to 6 years after it comes into effect.
What about the situation with the United States? Are there certain differences right now in trade talks? Have some new issues come up? Any sense on the timeline?
You heard the Honorable President of the United States of America this morning about Air Force One, and I think we are making good progress and working in the spirit of friendship.
Right. Just a word on what Jamieson Greer had to say. Just last year, he had said that India has given the best possible deal ever. Now, in his latest remarks, he said that India needs to do more when it comes to reducing Russian oil purchases.
In regular touch, my good friend Jamieson and I, we've known each other since Trump won, and I have absolutely no doubt that between him and me, or between both our teams, the synergy is very good, the understanding is very positive, and we'll be able to finalize very quickly.
So would it be a matter of a few weeks or months?
That we will have to wait and see. You know, we never do any trade deal with deadlines.
To what extent have you tried to address global uncertainties, the trade volatility with the US in the budget to safeguard India's interests?
I think this is a budget for the next 25 years. This is a budget for the future of India. It's a budget which prepares India to take rapid strides towards Viksit Bharat 2047. So I don't think the budget is ever formulated based on just a particular situation or a particular uncertainty. Budgets are always made for a long-term vision of the country.
Right. On quality control orders, you've done a lot in terms of eliminating QCOs. The survey said that more can be done. Are we looking at a greater review of QCOs?
It'll be a calibrated approach. If we find that the QCO can be deferred or might be even eliminated, and that it is, we already are producing good quality production in India, and even the imports into India are of good quality. We are not getting substandard goods. We will always be open to amending or even eliminating QCOs. Right. We are a listening government. This government is open to inputs and open to ideas. At the same time, we have to make sure that vested interests may not try to once again bring in substandard quality production in India. As you are aware, the Honorable Prime Minister has focused very strongly on quality since 2014, when he introduced the concept of zero effect, zero defect, Z. He spoke about it in his Man Ki Baat last Sunday. He spoke about it on the first day of Parliament. He spoke about it today when reflecting on the budget. So I think this is very dear to the Honorable Prime Minister. It's very important when India plans to become a developed nation to also focus on quality in a big way.
Right. What is the message that you'd like to send out to global investors with the budget, sir? FI outflows have been a concern. It's been about $23 billion. The drop in FDI has been questioned by experts as well. So what do you think is the message that India is trying to send out with this budget to both domestic investors and global investors?
Well, I think being the fastest growing large economy with fiscal prudence at the core of our thinking, you can continue to see fiscal consolidation in this budget also. With the fact that massive investments are going into infrastructure and new opportunities are being created for investments in manufacturing and promoting services, we have set the roadmap for the next 2 decades, powering the economy on towards Viksit Bharat, a developed and prosperous India by 2047. I think those who will miss the bus today will regret it.
Any rethink on the press note 3 on China?
We have been receiving requests from many quarters that there could be a de minimis, so that the larger funds, which may have a very small element of some 1 or 2 Chinese investors having 1 or 2 5% Chinese investment in a larger pooled capital or a fund, may be considered for exemption, because that's not really an opportunistic takeover that could be planned. It's just a financial investment which comes in through the form of funds. It is certainly something which has been brought to our notice and is under consideration.
Mr. Goyal, thank you very much for joining us to give us the sum and substance of the union budget and the message it sends out to our exporters.